I believe that buying XCN for me as of right now is the equivalent of acquiring Bitcoin at around $11,500. Even though that's not financial advice, people may be thinking, okay, why would you think that way? It's because you take a look at Bitcoin as of right now. If we were to look at it, at one point, the price was around $11,500. That's around a 9x from, here, right? 9x lower, I would say. And when you take a look at something like XCN, if it were to do around a 9x from here, it would have a price of around 25 cents. And 25 cents is my price target for this bull run. And that is why I think that way. When Bitcoin was around $11,000, people thought it was a steal. They thought, wow, I can't believe it's so low. Now, some people thought it was a little bit too expensive, but a lot of people also thought that it was kind of a steal and how it wasn't not even achieving its true value yet. And when it comes to XCN, I do share that same sentiment because I think this is a very revolutionary project. When you take a look at Onyx, I get it. It's not something that has the greatest adoption because when people take a look at XCN, aka Onyxcoin, it is the native token of the Onyx protocol. They may think that, okay, this is kind of gimmicky. Yeah, sure, it's focused on the same markets as Ripple and Stellar, but it's not really trying to do much, and also adoption is really bad. And here's the thing, adoption isn't the greatest, and yes, it's pretty much focused on the same markets like Ripple and Stellar, the global trade and finance market, and as well as the payments market, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it won't have a place moving forward because just take into consideration, for instance, this market, or should I say these two markets, they're absolutely massive. The payments market is currently valued at over $2 trillion. The global trade and finance market, according to Mordor Intelligence, is predicted to be worth up to $5 trillion by 2028. So when you take a look at that, this market again has massive potential. And it doesn't necessarily mean that something like Stellar and Ripple will be the only ones that are sticking around. Because when you take a look at this is massive. I think there's going to be room for a lot of the players to eat. It's like, for instance, you take a look at the car market. It's massive. However, there isn't only 5 car brands even, right? There's a bunch of car brands out there. And you take a look at Volvo, something that doesn't have a dominating market share in my opinion. However, it's gone to do very successful. It's done very well, able to hire tens of thousands of employees. Does it need 90% market share? Well, it would be awesome, but then it's not necessary. When you take a look at something like Onyx, it doesn't need a dominating market share. It doesn't need to beat a Stellar or a Ripple. It doesn't need that. All it has to do is be somewhat of a decent player in this space, and it's already very good. Even being a small player could already be considered very successful. And take into consideration, it's not like XCN would have a hard time going to the price of 25 cents anyways, in my opinion, because if it were to go to that price, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be nearly $8 billion. Take into consideration how this is pretty much so minuscule in the grand scheme of things. When people like to say, oh yeah, 8 billion is so much. Well, maybe at face value, but when you take into consideration how many projects out there in the past have far exceeded this, I don't think it's too much to ask for. For instance, Dogecoin reached over 80 billion at its peak. Shiba Inu reached around 40 billion, also at its peak back in 2021. BNB reached over 100 billion. Ethereum at one point reached around 550 billion. So I'm not talking about some record-breaking figures here. If I'm saying that XCN is going to go to, a $300 billion market cap or something like that, then yeah, that's crazy, right? I don't think I could do that. However, in my opinion, it's not bad anyways, right? Again, an $8 billion market cap. Now, this right here on a 9X, people may think that, okay, it's so bad, but it wasn't so bad not too long ago because take into consideration, when I first started talking about XCN, it wasn't like the hype was really there. Now, soon after I talked about it, of course, it did very well. I didn't expect it to happen that early. However, I must say I did a very good call on that. However, even besides that, considering how much XCN has, pumped, much like I predicted, doing an additional around a 9X from here, it doesn't seem so bad in my opinion. Now, people like to say that, okay, it's so bad. Well, if I had, let's say, even $50, just sitting around somewhere, would it be better if that $50 did around a 9X or did nothing? Of course, it's better. Even if it did a 2X, that would still be impressive. So people sometimes, they're under this misconception that, oh, something doesn't do a 1000X, a 100X. That means it's so bad. Well, I disagree on that because I think they're used to seeing these people saying, oh yeah, we made a 1000X on a meme coin or whatever. And we don't even really know if that is actually true in some cases. However, even besides that, let's say they did do that, it sometimes kind of changes their mindset where they're like, oh yeah, we got to make a 1000X around it's bad or not, we don't even want to touch the project. Well, I'm going to disagree on that because again, even if let's say my holdings did like a 2 or 3x, instead of it sitting in a bank account, what was it going to do anyways, right? It's much better it did something as opposed to nothing. So I think sometimes people think it's bad, but I disagree. And if you think about it, because Ripple and Stellar have done so amazing, a lot of the hype and a lot of the attention is moving towards XCN. And it's only fair to assume that this is going to be the case because when people usually believe in Solana, they believe in BNB, they're also typically going to believe in Cardano as well, Algorand, Avalanche, because they naturally like layer one blockchains. It's like people who, for instance, like blockchain gaming projects. They're going to like Gala, they're going to like Engine. If someone likes the metaverse, they're going to like Sandbox, they're going to like, Decentraland as well. So the way I view it is that it's only natural that this is the case for Onyx. However, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Onyx isn't the most original project of all time, but it doesn't really matter. Keep in mind, it's even been stated that Onyx, at least Onyx protocol, is a decentralized blockchain infrastructure that is designed to improve financial services. So again, it's not really doing anything too revolutionary, but it's in the right market. It's at the right place at the right time. Again, it really gained this massive attention once a lot of people were no longer scared of Ripple and whatever went on with the SEC and Gary Gensler. I think many people are beginning to understand that when it comes to XRP, how is that a security? It just doesn't make any sense. Even I know it's not a security, and I'm not a part of the SEC or anything like that. The reason why is because when someone acquires XRP, it doesn't mean that they automatically own a part of Ripple. So how is that a security, right? I never thought that was logical. That was my mindset, so I never stopped believing in this space. However, I did not want to acquire XRP or XLM. What I did instead was acquire XDC, and then eventually I moved on towards XCN. So this is what I did. But so far, I haven't been wrong when it comes to XDC or even XCN, because I always thought that this was going to be the next XRP and XLM, especially after all the FUD is gone. I was like, yeah, this is going to be massive. And again, so far, I haven't been wrong. And as of right now, we're beginning to see the effects of what over 600 million crypto owners are able to do, according to at least Crypto.com research. There's that many crypto owners, more than ever before in history. We're seeing XCN do this well as of right now. So imagine once March comes around, April, May, June, July, and even all the way up till October, let's say, could you imagine what XCN is going to do? And I really can't wait. That's why the way I view it is that this is kind of like acquiring Bitcoin at the price of around $11,500. Now I get it. Again, XCN isn't going to be the best performing thing out there of all time, but I think it's good enough for me. And I think this right here is a massive thumbs up. XCN has done very well so soon, by the way, and I think only better days are ahead, and I really can't wait. I'm not saying there might not be any pullbacks, because there might be, right? Let's say the journey to the price of 25 cents. I don't think it's going to be the straight shot, even though it kind of feels like it as of right now. There might be a pullback if a lot of people start deciding to take profits. However, if that were to happen, I'm still going to stick with my strategy, because anytime an income I'm acquiring, I'm holding, and I'm just waiting, that's it. And I have preemptively, prepared myself for this, even if, let's say, it didn't happen. Again, I'm still preparing for it anyways, because the way I view it is that pullbacks, we've seen it time and time again, even with Bitcoin, the journey from the price of $1 all the way up to over 100,000. It wasn't the straight shot. There was multiple pullbacks. And either way, whatever happens, I'm going to still stick by this, because 25 cents, ultimately, that's my price target for XCN during this bull run, and I'm not giving up. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's Willie the Captain, and I'll catch you all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.